feels so weird being on camera, but like I do this like for my reels. So
Okay, this is Kanai. Today we're with
LenZz. Hello, I'm a photographer, videographer based in Ottawa, aspiring cinematographer and director.
Tell us about your type of photography that you do and type of videography that you do.
So for photography, it's mostly events, a bit of portrait, and I'd say I work with a lot of artists. I think that's been like my go-to thing recently. It's been really dope, just doing like reels and really helping them work on their branding, because I feel like a lot of artists kind of lack in that department, but like that's fair because
Wait, what?
it's fair because it's like you got to focus on the music, so you're not gonna be too like keen on like certain things or the technical aspect of like your branding.
What cameras and what lenses do you use?
So I use the Canon R10. It's not a bad camera. I honestly feel like it's a better video camera than photo, which is kind of weird because
I didn't know that Canon had good video cameras.
not this one. I wouldn't say this one. This one, I think I had to work for it because it doesn't come with log, which is like a color profile that like, you know, helps you color grade. I'll just like bring it out because my bag is turned. So Canon R10, I have
Very nice.
I have like a little bit of a rig on here. The lens that I run mostly for my productions is a 10 to 20 millimeter. It's very wide for APS-C, and if it was like full frame, it'd be even wider, which is like my style. I love shooting on wide lenses, including this one, which is my
Fish lens, my god.
yeah, which is a fisheye. It's a Rokinon 8 millimeter. I like it a lot, and yeah, I also use it to do like talking head videos on my page. So yeah,
Amazing.
that's that.
And what are those lenses? Is that all you have?
No, I have more. I have more. I think it's like I was like I'm not trying to go like too like hard on this. So this is the 18 to 150. This is a kit lens that came with
18 150.
18 to 150.
That's crazy, and it's that small.
I know. I feel like Canon actually did a good job making this lens.
But it's like variable aperture, right?
Yeah, variable aperture. So for video, it does really well, but in terms of photo, it's okay. It's weird because I get more dynamic range in video than I do photos.
Okay.
Because it has like cine style, but yeah, not bad. Like when I started to get more into video, I was like, this lens is actually like godly. Like it's so good. It covers like a wide range, so really good. Next lens, I should have brought more. Not like
What?
I should have brought more. Look, this is the Nifty 50. I feel like everybody has one of these. If you don't, you're probably lacking, because I think you can get a lot of like great shots using this, especially like for like nice bokeh, like a blurry background. I used this yesterday on a shoot. Yeah, it came in really handy.
Nice.
And this lens, I think I already talked about it, but I'll talk about it one more time. Manual focus lens, fisheye, Rokinon. I bought it off of like Amazon. Yeah, and I use it really often. If you know me, if you like see my stuff.
That's really like your iconic lens photo slash I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite lens?
Favorite lens. I also like to pair this with like a flash for photos and get like crowd shots, especially when I do photography at like nightclubs. Like this is insane. I think a lot of people recognize me for photos that were taken at certain venues on this lens. So.
Okay, I have a question, because I know that I'm asking questions, but when you go shoot events, I really like your event photography because it's like there's something different about it that like when I see your event photography, it looks like you shot those photos on like a set.
Okay.
Like, I know that it's kind of your style, but when I go shoot events, I can't take photos like that. So like, how do you do this?
How do I do? It took some time.
Yeah,
it took some time.
Sure.
I think when I started out, it was on the Sigma 18 to 35.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more of like a compressed lens compared to like the other like wider ranges. I think if I were to like date it back, if I were to give like a timeline of how my style evolved, it was a lot more intimate and closer. And then once I got a fisheye, I was like, this is the lens that I have to use for like every event. But when it comes to corporate stuff, I like to keep it like pretty natural.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, I don't think they'd like that.
What's the reason that you shoot Canon? Like,
I think it was the most affordable option.
What? That's
like,
that's not true.
This isn't like
that is not true.
This is my second
what are
camera.
you saying?
This is my second camera.
What's your first?
First was a Canon Rebel T7.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was looking at like camera bodies and just like a camera package that would come with a lens, the T7 was like the one that spoke out to me. I probably could have gone secondhand, but I really wanted like my camera to be like brand new.
Like yours.
Yeah. But yeah, I think most affordable option. So
I don't know about that because I was like talking to someone the other day and he was like, he doesn't like Canon because they don't have good third-party lens options.
They're really stingy about that.
If you're buying Canon lenses, you're dropping money.
Yeah.
So I was like, Canon is
no, like even I get mad sometimes that like they closed off a bunch of like third-party like manufacturers like Sigma, and then they recently came out with a line of like they recently opened it back up for like Sigma. So they came out with a 2.8 version of this lens,
which is nice.
Which is like a lot nicer because I can stop down.
Yeah.
But I was like, Canon, you're late to the party, and they take a long time to like innovate on certain things compared to other brands that just keep on changing the game. And I don't know, Canon could do better, but hey, it is what it is.
Would you switch gear if you had the money?
I was thinking about it.
What would you switch?
I would switch
This is a very important question.
I would switch to the. I've seen how people like get eaten up in the comments about their choices. I would switch to the Lumix S5 2X. Yeah.
Okay, why? Why Lumix and why that?
Well, first, my friend owns it, and he's shown me. So
you know how it works and everything.
How it works, but also I just find that I've learned everything that this camera can offer me. And with that camera, there's a lot of things that like I don't know in terms of video because it's a bit of a hybrid.
Right.
But it has a lot of like really good features for video. Like a lot of things like I don't know, and I don't want to get another camera where I'm like, well, I know everything about this. Right.
That's true.
Like, I wouldn't mind getting something that's a bit more fun and like casual, obviously. But if I were to go into like more into like the business side of things, I'd go for like the Lumix.
I think that's another thing. Like when you're thinking about an upgrade, I think it's time to buy a new camera when you feel like, oh, I know everything about this camera and there's nothing more that I can like learn from it.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you know how to use it well, then maybe you should get an upgrade.
Yeah. And also when I jumped from like the T7 to this one to the R10, it was the biggest change ever. Like autofocus, like when you go from a DSLR, you're like, this is like crazy.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend and like she went through like the same phase, and like I was like, it's like when you have a good autofocus, because with the T7, what ended up happening, I feel like the autofocus got worse over time, which is weird.
Okay.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just like through using it, it didn't catch onto things as much as I wanted it to.
Okay.
When I started doing stuff like with like dancers and everything, like it isn't it doesn't track, right? So with mirrorless cameras, they can do that a lot easier. And even though in video the autofocus isn't that great, I feel like it still holds up. Like it still does its thing. So yeah.
But okay, like even then, it's not like you're shooting like cinema quality videos, so you can still get away with
no, that's fair.
It not being in focus. Have you thought about going to Sony?
Yes, I actually have. I have. So the same friend, he had an FX30.
Yeah.
And that was the camera that I was looking at because I want to go more into like like just explore like cinematography a little bit more. And not that I can't do it with this camera, but I just feel like, you know, these cameras built for cinema have the features that I need to be successful. So yeah, but when it came to comparing them, like I was super close. I just found that I was going through the FX30 and FX3 and comparing the Lumix S5 2X, that for the price, the Lumix just had makes more sense, but also it just had features that I think these, like the FX3 and FX30 should have. So
like what?
Like
what? That's crazy.
I think one of them was I'm trying to think. I knew this question would come up, but like I forgot to do my research. But when I was looking into like both like options, it just seemed that Panasonic just made more sense to me.
Okay, fair.
Like,
no, I've been hearing really good things about Panasonic cameras, and like, I haven't like looked much into it, but from what I hear, it sounds pretty cool.
It's like a if you know, you know. I feel like brand, you know, like they're not like out there like that, like
no, they're
like
not.
Sony
really
and,
not,
and like Canon and all these other brands. But if you take the time to look into it, it's very, very worth it. I feel.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm not trying to spread any messages, but just saying.
Okay. So, I don't remember you doing that much like videography a couple years ago. But what got you into videography? And then which do you actually like doing more?
Right now, I'd say it's video, just because it got to a certain point where I felt like photography, it felt really stagnant to me. Like, not that I felt out of love with it, it's just more that I was kind of craving the growth. Like, you know, when you like learn something new and then like you start at zero and then you're like, okay, this is cool. I don't know this. I want to look more into this. Not that I know everything about photography, but I just felt like I was learning slower, you know, like I had caught up to a certain like threshold, and then I'm just like, oh.
Right. So. I feel like when you're just starting out, it's easy to like feel like you're growing faster, but then once you get to a certain level, it's like you make slower progress. Yeah. Because you already know the basics, and there's just like not much more to learn. Yeah. I guess.
And I felt like with videography, I could experiment a lot more and easier. Like I could just set up the camera and just film myself. But with portraits, I feel like I would need to like set up a shoot, rely on somebody else to do this, which like self-portraits aren't bad, but like I have to like orchestrate and just like trigger the camera myself, right? Or I can just put this on the tripod, press record, and then just have myself moving throughout the scene. Yeah. And I think I've made a lot of projects that I'm really happy with and proud of, and it helped me regain that that learning, what is it called? That learning growth back or whatever, like the feeling of like learning something new again. So
Okay. Do you see yourself getting into more videography in the future?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm aspiring to be a cinematographer and director. Like I've been on a couple sets where I'm also like encouraging you.
No. like I'm getting there. I'm still learning. I haven't yet to get into like proper videography, but this is a start. Like especially this year, I know that I'm like trying to get more into videography, and I don't want to say this out loud because I haven't done much yet, and it's like it's better to just do it and like show my product than just saying to people, I'm like, I want to do like videography, cinematography.
100%.
Like, just do it.
100%.
So that's my goal. When you're editing photos, let's say, what is the vibe that you try to go for? And also like, how would you describe your style of photography?
I would say I try to go for punchy colors, like not like saturated, but like with taste.
Juicy. I don't know. What I mean? I like to say like when I look at nice colors, I'm like, oh, this is so juicy. Like it looks so tasteful. Right. And people think it's so cringe, but I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like you get what I mean.
Yeah. For me, I'd say punchy colors, very dark shadows.
Yeah, contrast.
Lots of contrast. And my style of photography. Damn, okay, that's a good question.
You're getting out of the frame.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
You're in it, but like you were almost gone.
Okay. I feel like half of this footage is me just over here.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Style of photography. I think it's definitely a little bit weird. Like I don't think it's like conventional. I don't know.
Okay, it's
like,
not
I think I have a
conventional,
weird
but your
approach.
images are still like super clean and crisp, like good quality. You know.
Yeah, I would have to sit on that. Just think about it like a little bit more. I don't think there's like one word to describe like my style of photography. I mean, besides like the editing part where like the colors and everything, but I don't think I could give you a word right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for your photos and videos, where do you take inspirations from? Like, do you have like specific people that you look for, like inspiration-wise, like people who do videography, photography, or do you just like come up with things?
I think I'm gonna answer for video. I think for video, a lot of my inspiration comes from like the people around me that I see. Like I want to be doing that. I'd say a couple of names would be LenZz. I think that's how you say his name. Who else? I'd say like a couple of my friends. So there's you. There's there's you. There's Alucci. There's Pavel. Honestly, like very local
such
people.
Amazing things.
Very local people.
I'm so happy because here's the thing. Like I don't like Ottawa to begin with, but I do like the photographer, videographer community here because people are like actually doing really good things, and I love that.
Yeah, no,
So
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But besides that, I say, I take a lot of inspiration from, I think, film, like things shot on film.
Yeah.
I think that helps with my color grading and like things that I want to emulate. Like I had a recent project, it was a music video, shot it in black and white. I took inspiration from Tyler, the Creator's latest album, Chromacopia, which was kind of like black and white and then a bit of a like yellow tinge to it.
Yeah.
And I also took inspiration from like Men in Black, so I had the people like the artists dressed in like suits, and it was great. It was great, like black and white palette, lots of contrast as always. I think that just was a really like good look for that project.
Yeah. Okay. When you look at photos, like just photos, not videos, what makes a good photo? What makes it a good photo?
Composition.
Always? Oh, that's it? That's it? Are you kidding?
Like
that was so fast too.
No.
If someone asked me that, I would have to think about it. I'm like, what makes a good photo? Like, there's so many factors, but
composition. I feel like so many people lack in that department. Like, it's such a good foundation that not a lot of people practice. Like, not saying that you have to stick to like the rules of thirds and everything, but being intentional with where things are inside of the frame.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting that you say that because I definitely agree with you, and I think that also comes from like you doing cinematography, because I feel like composition is so important, especially when you're shooting video. Like I don't know if it's like more important for videography than photography to think about composition, but interesting.
Yeah, I think from photo going into videography more, I think it's a tad bit more important. I think your frames can look a lot more awkward in video than they can in photos, because it's like, why is the actor's like eye line weird, right? You know, like if you have like a over the shoulder shot, right, and you bring like the 180 rule where it's like if you cross this line, and anyways, you get it. So it might look weird. So composition is very much an element that helps drive storytelling and just like the narrative overall.
And I definitely like realized that, especially after like taking pictures last year, because I know that like for me last year I was like, I'm gonna start taking cinematic pictures. And then when you think about like what makes it look cinematic is like the colors and the composition, at least for me. So that's a really good point.
You can follow me at through my lens. That is through my _lens, LenZz. And yeah, I don't know. And also follow Kanai because she's doing really good work.
Yeah.
Peace.